Ladies and gentlemen, there is a battle we all face, one that begins and ends in the battlefield of the mind. That enemy, that silent assassin lurking in the shadows, is negative thinking. It doesn't come with a bang or a roar. It creeps in quietly, planting seeds of doubt, fear, and insecurity until it chokes the very life out of your dreams. Today, I'm here to tell you that if you don't kill your negative thinking, it will kill your destiny. You see, your thoughts are powerful. They create your reality. Every single day, the thoughts you allow to live in your mind determine what you will see, who you will become, and what you will achieve. If you nurture negativity, it will shape a world of limitation. But if you cultivate positivity and purpose, you will open doors that no one can shut. But first, we must break the cycle. Negative thinking is a habit, a dangerous one that we feed through the things we read, the media we consume, and sometimes even the people we surround ourselves with. You've got to have the courage to break free from those toxic influences. If it's your environment feeding your doubt, change it. If it's the voices around you keeping you small, distance yourself. Because the company you keep either lifts you higher or drags you down. The most important conversation you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. What are you telling yourself every day? Are you speaking life into your potential, or are you constantly doubting your abilities? It's time to transform your inner dialogue. You need to become your own best friend, your own biggest advocate. When those negative thoughts creep in telling you you're not enough, you don't have what it takes, you must kill them on sight. Replace them with truth. Replace them with thoughts that align with your greatness. And this is not a passive exercise, it's a daily discipline. The mind will not automatically align with success. It has to be trained, conditioned. Every morning, every hour, you have to consciously choose thoughts that elevate you. You see, success is not for the lazy. Victory over your mind is not for the complacent. It is for those who are willing to fight for their future. Let me tell you something, negative thoughts are lies. They will convince you that you're inadequate, unworthy, and powerless. But the truth is this: you were born with purpose, with value, and with the power to change your life. Don't let the lies of your mind rob you of your destiny. Don't let them win. Surround yourself with visionaries, with people who see beyond the moment, who encourage you to push harder, dream bigger, and rise higher. The environment around you matters. Be intentional about who speaks into your life, because the wrong voices can derail your mission. You cannot afford to entertain mediocrity. Finally, we must activate faith. Faith is the antidote to every negative thought, every doubt, every fear. When your mind says you can't, faith says you can. When the world says it's impossible, faith says all things are possible. Faith moves mountains, but it starts with you believing in something greater than yourself. Faith is not just a feeling, it's a decision. A decision to trust, to move forward, to rise above. So today, I challenge you to kill your negative thinking. Don't just silence it, eradicate it. Because on the other side of that battle is your true potential, your breakthrough, your destiny. Negative thinking is a subtle enemy, often unnoticed until it has already done significant damage. It doesn't announce its arrival with a loud bang. Instead, it seeps into your mind quietly, disguised as caution, self-reflection, or even humility. But make no mistake, it is a force that can erode your confidence, cripple your ambition, and stifle your ability to reach your full potential. The danger of negative thinking lies in its deceptive nature. It masquerades as rational thought, convincing you that playing small is wise, that self-doubt is normal, and that fear is just a part of life. It tells you that it's safer to stay where you are, that reaching for more is risky, and that you don't have what it takes to succeed anyway. It thrives on your insecurities and feeds on your fears. This enemy does not just live in the mind of the fearful, it infiltrates the hearts of the capable, the talented, and the ambitious. You might be one of the best at what you do, but if you allow negative thinking to take root, it will blind you to your own potential. It will tell you, you're not ready. What if you fail, or worse? Who are you to think you can make a difference? The real danger of negative thinking is that it limits you from the inside. The chains that bind you are not made of external circumstances, they are made of your own beliefs. These thoughts become walls around your future, walls that you alone have built, and only you can tear down. If you allow them to linger, they will create a prison for your dreams, a place where your potential is never realized. It's critical to recognize that this enemy isn't a passing phase or just a bad day. It's a mindset that, if left unchecked, becomes a lifestyle. And if you don't confront it, it will kill your dreams long before they have a chance to live. Negative thinking is relentless, and it will always find a reason for you to stay where you are, to avoid taking risks, to abandon the pursuit of your highest calling. Recognizing this enemy is the first step in reclaiming your power. You must become aware of the thoughts that are holding you back, those limiting beliefs that whisper in your ear and make you second guess yourself. Once you see negative thinking for what it truly is, a thief of potential, you can begin the process of eliminating it. This enemy can no longer be allowed to live rent-free in your mind. It's time to call it out for what it is: a liar, a deceiver, and a destroyer of destiny. Only then can you begin to take the necessary steps to silence it for good. The thoughts you hold in your mind shape the world you experience. What you think on a daily basis becomes the foundation for how you live, what you pursue, and ultimately what you achieve. Thoughts are not just fleeting ideas or random emotions. They are powerful forces that direct your energy, your actions, and the trajectory of your life. Every great achievement begins with a thought. Whether it's a business empire, a scientific breakthrough, or a personal transformation, it all starts in the mind. What you consistently think about, you attract. If you focus on limitations, fears, and doubts, your world will mirror that. You will find yourself encountering obstacles at every turn, not because they are truly insurmountable, but because your mind is fixated on them. Your thoughts frame your perception, and your perception creates your reality. On the other hand, if you fill your mind with possibilities, with visions of success, and with unwavering belief in your abilities, your reality shifts. You start to see opportunities where others see challenges. You find solutions when others are stuck in problems. This isn't just about being optimistic, it's about aligning your mind with the outcomes you desire. Thoughts become blueprints, and whatever you consistently dwell on in your mind eventually manifests in your life. But the power of your thoughts doesn't stop at shaping your external world. They also determine who you become internally. The person you are today is a reflection of the thoughts you've allowed to dominate your mind over time. If you constantly think of yourself as incapable, unworthy, or inferior, you will act in ways that align with that belief. You'll hold back from pursuing your dreams, avoid taking risks, and remain stuck in mediocrity. Yet, when you begin to think differently, when you start to believe that you are capable, deserving, and equipped for greatness, you will act differently. You'll take bold steps, seize opportunities, and push past barriers that once seemed impossible. This shift doesn't happen by accident. It happens by intentionally choosing thoughts that lift you, empower you, and propel you forward. The key to changing your reality lies in the thoughts you nurture. You cannot expect to live a life of abundance, success, or fulfillment if your mind is full of doubt, fear, and negativity. You must be deliberate about what you allow into your mind. Guard it as you would a precious resource, because that's exactly what it is. Your mind is the soil, and your thoughts are the seeds. What you plant there will grow, whether you intend it or not. Understand this: the universe responds to the energy of your thoughts. When you think thoughts of faith, of purpose, and of vision, you set in motion a chain of events that bring those very things into your life. Your thoughts have the power to attract the people, the circumstances, and the opportunities you need to turn your dreams into reality. So if you want to change your life, start by changing your thoughts. Eliminate the negative, self-defeating beliefs that have been holding you back, and replace them with thoughts that align with the future you desire. You are the architect of your reality, and your thoughts are the building blocks. What kind of world are you building? Negative thinking doesn't just appear overnight. It's a cycle that often begins subtly and builds over time. It becomes a pattern, a habit, and before long, it controls how you see the world, how you respond to challenges, and how you perceive yourself. Breaking this cycle is crucial, but it requires deliberate effort because it's a deeply ingrained mindset that feeds off repetition and familiarity. The first step in breaking the cycle is awareness. Most people don't even realize they're trapped in a loop of negative thoughts because it feels so normal. It's what they used to constant worry, fear of failure, and the habit of expecting the worst. But that's where the danger lies. When negativity becomes your default setting, you don't even question it, you just live it out. Day by day, like a script. The cycle persists because it's never confronted. Once you recognize the pattern, the next step is to disrupt it. You can't allow those negative thoughts to play on repeat in your mind. They've been there long enough, creating a stronghold that dictates your choices and limits your growth. To disrupt the cycle, you have to actively challenge the thoughts that tell you, I'm not good enough, or I always fail. You can't passively hope they go away on their own. You must confront them with new truths and new ways of thinking. Changing your environment is often a necessary part of breaking the cycle. Sometimes the places, people, and influences around you are feeding the negativity. Whether it's the constant barrage of pessimistic news, toxic relationships, or environments that drain your energy, these external factors reinforce your internal negativity. Breaking the cycle means evaluating the inputs into your life and cutting off those that perpetuate your negative mindset. You also have to break the cycle by creating new habits of thought. Just as negativity became ingrained through repetition, you can rewire your brain by consistently feeding it positive, constructive thoughts. This isn't about ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It's about focusing on what is possible instead of dwelling on what is wrong. It's about shifting your mental energy towards solutions, growth, and opportunities. One of the reasons the cycle of negativity is so strong is because it creates a false sense of safety. Negative thinking, in a way, protects you from disappointment. If you expect the worst, then you're never caught off guard, right? But that safety is an illusion. It doesn't protect you, it imprisons you. It keeps you from taking risks, from exploring your potential, and from stepping into new opportunities. Breaking the cycle means stepping out of that false security and embracing the possibility of failure, because that's where real growth happens. Another key to breaking the cycle is persistence. You might feel empowered to think positively for a day, maybe even a week, but then an obstacle hits and you revert back to your old patterns. Understand this: breaking a cycle that has taken root in your life for years will not happen overnight. It takes consistency. When negative thoughts creep back in, and you must be relentless in rejecting them and replacing them with thoughts that uplift and empower you. It's a daily battle, but one that gets easier with time and practice. Finally, breaking the cycle requires faith in something greater. You need to believe that there's more to life than the limitations your mind has constructed. Whether it's faith in a higher power, in your own potential, or in the purpose you were born with, that belief is what sustains you when negative thinking tries to pull you back into the old patterns. Faith gives you the strength to push through when the cycle feels too strong to break. You've been in the cycle long enough. It's time to disrupt it, to consciously decide that your life will no longer be dictated by the same old patterns. Break the cycle, and you'll open up a world of new possibilities, one where your thoughts are aligned with your true potential, not your fears. The way you speak to yourself shapes the person you become. Your inner dialogue is the constant, ongoing conversation happening in your mind, and it has more influence over your life than the words of anyone around you. If you allow that inner voice to criticize, doubt, and undermine you, it will erode your confidence, cripple your actions, and sabotage your success. To move forward in life, you must transform that inner dialogue into one that empowers you, uplifts you, and propels you toward your goals. Most people don't realize how destructive their inner dialogue can be because it's often subtle. It can disguise itself as self-protection, convincing you that you're just being realistic or cautious. But underneath those rationalizations, there is often a current of self-doubt, fear, and insecurity. You might tell yourself, I'm not ready for that, I always mess things up, or I don't deserve this success. These are the kinds of thoughts that anchor you in mediocrity. Transforming your inner dialogue begins with recognizing the power of your words, especially the words you speak to yourself. Every thought you allow to linger in your mind has the potential to either build you up or tear you down. The mind believes what it hears repeatedly, and over time, your inner dialogue becomes a script by which you live your life. If that script is full of negativity, you will unconsciously act in ways that reflect it. But just as your inner dialogue has the power to tear you down, it also has the potential to lift you up. You can choose to speak to yourself in a way that reinforces your strengths, builds your confidence, and affirms your potential. This is not about empty self-talk or superficial affirmations. It's about rewiring your mindset with truths that align with your purpose and your abilities. The process of transformation starts with awareness. What are you telling yourself every day? Pay attention to the automatic thoughts that pop into your mind, especially in challenging situations. Do you immediately go to a place of defeat, telling yourself, I knew this would happen, or I'll never get it right? If so, that's where the transformation begins. You have to catch those thoughts in the moment and confront them with a new narrative. Instead of allowing your mind to default to negativity, consciously choose thoughts that reflect the person you are becoming. When faced with doubt, instead of saying, I can't do this, say, I'm learning and growing through this challenge. When fear tries to paralyze you, replace, what if I fail with, this is an opportunity to grow stronger. It's not about denying difficulties, it's about reframing them in a way that keeps you moving forward. Transforming your inner dialogue also requires that you stop being your own harshest critic. Most people speak to themselves in ways they would never speak to a friend. You wouldn't tell someone you care about, you're not good enough or you're a failure. Yet many of us speak those words to ourselves regularly. You need to become your own best supporter. When you make mistakes, instead of berating yourself, acknowledge the mistake, learn from it, and move forward with compassion. The key is to make your inner dialogue a source of strength rather than a source of shame. This transformation is not just a mental exercise, it's a daily discipline. You have to train your mind just like you would train your body in a gym. It takes repetition and consistency. At first, it may feel awkward or forced to replace negative thoughts with positive ones, especially if you've been used to a critical inner dialogue for years. But over time, as you keep feeding your mind with thoughts of possibility, worth, and purpose, your inner dialogue will begin to reflect those truths naturally. Another critical element of transforming your inner dialogue is speaking with vision. Don't just focus on where you are now, speak to where you are going. Your words should align with the future you want to create. When you tell yourself, I am capable of achieving my dreams or I am worthy of success, you are laying the groundwork for those realities to manifest. You are speaking into existence the life you are building. Remember, the thoughts you speak to yourself will either hold you back or push you forward. The choice is yours. Transform your inner dialogue and you will transform your life. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's not glamorous and it's rarely easy, but it is absolutely essential for success. When it comes to overcoming negative thinking and building a life of purpose and achievement, discipline is the foundation. Without it, your efforts will be inconsistent, your progress minimal, and your results fleeting. The truth is, overcoming negativity in your mind and life doesn't happen by accident. You don't just wake up one day with a positive mindset, ready to take on the world. It requires deliberate, disciplined effort every single day. This discipline begins in the mind, where you must make a conscious choice about what you will allow to occupy your thoughts. Every day you are presented with countless opportunities to let negativity in, whether it's through a discouraging conversation, a setback at work, or even just your own doubts and fears rising to the surface. It takes discipline to reject those negative impulses and replace them with thoughts that serve you. You have to be vigilant about what you allow into your mental space. And that vigilance requires daily effort. It's not enough to just push back on negativity once and think the battle is over. The mind will constantly try to revert to its old ways, especially if negative thinking has been a habit for years. Discipline means committing to the process, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it. There will be days when you want to give up, when your old patterns of negative thinking seem easier than the work of pushing forward with a positive mindset. But discipline is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. It's the ability to keep going, to keep training your mind, and to keep moving forward when everything inside you wants to quit. True discipline also requires that you set standards for yourself and hold yourself accountable to them. It's not enough to simply hope that you'll start thinking positively or expect that you'll just naturally begin to take different actions. You need to set clear, tangible goals for your mindset and behavior, and then consistently work toward those goals. Whether it's journaling positive affirmations, meditating, reading empowering books, or practicing gratitude, you have to create daily habits that build mental strength. Discipline is also about sacrifice. There will be times when you must sacrifice comfort for growth. It's comfortable to stay in the familiar territory of old habits, even if those habits are harmful. It's easy to stick with what you've always known, but discipline requires you to step out of that comfort zone and stretch yourself. It means sacrificing immediate gratification, the need to feel good right now, for long-term fulfillment. Choosing discipline means choosing to do the hard things today so you can enjoy the rewards tomorrow. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking that discipline is about forcing yourself to be perfect. But true discipline isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. You're not going to get it right every time. There will be days when negative thoughts slip through, when you fall back into old patterns, and when progress feels slow. But discipline isn't about never falling, it's about getting back up every single time you do. It's about staying committed to the process, knowing that every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Discipline also requires a long-term vision. When you embrace discipline, you are saying, I'm in this for the long haul. You're not just looking for quick fixes or temporary motivation. You understand that real change takes time, and you're willing to put in the work every day, no matter how long it takes. This level of commitment separates those who make real, lasting changes from those who only see temporary results. In the process of embracing discipline, you begin to discover your true strength. You realize that you are capable of more than you thought, that you can push through challenges, and that you can train your mind to focus on what serves you rather than what holds you back. Discipline builds resilience, and resilience builds success. Ultimately, embracing discipline is about taking ownership of your life. It's about understanding that you are in control of your thoughts, your actions, and your future. No one else can do the work for you. It's your discipline, your dedication, and your commitment that will determine your success. When you embrace discipline, you take control of your mind, and in doing so, you take control of your destiny. Negative thoughts are deceptive. They present themselves as undeniable truths, but in reality, they are distortions of your potential, your value, and your possibilities. These thoughts often come wrapped in fear, insecurity, and doubt, making them seem credible. They speak with authority, telling you what you can't do, what you're not good enough for, or why you'll never succeed. But at their core, negative thoughts are lies designed to keep you from stepping into your true power. The problem is, negative thoughts are incredibly convincing. They often disguise themselves as wisdom or caution. You may hear them in the form of, you're just being realistic, or it's better to be safe than sorry. These thoughts trick you into believing that they are protecting you, keeping you from making mistakes or getting hurt. But what they are really doing is limiting your growth and stealing your opportunities. Negative thoughts keep you playing small, confined by imaginary walls that only exist in your mind. One of the most insidious lies that negative thoughts tell is that your worth is tied to your failures. They whisper, you failed once, so you'll fail again, or you didn't succeed the last time, so you're not cut out for this. They take isolated moments of struggle and convince you that they define your entire future. But the truth is, failure is a part of the journey to success. It's not a reflection of your value or your potential, it's simply a step along the way. Negative thoughts distort this truth and try to convince you that one setback is the end of your story. But that's a lie. Negative thoughts also lie by focusing on what you lack. They point out your weaknesses, your flaws, and your shortcomings, magnifying them until they seem insurmountable. They tell you you're not smart enough, you're not talented enough, or you don't have what it takes. These thoughts focus on lack instead of abundance, blinding you to the strengths, skills, and resources you already possess. The truth is, you have more than enough within you to succeed, but negative thoughts keep you focused on scarcity, convincing you that you're not enough. Another lie that negative thoughts tell is that the opinions of others define you. They make you believe that what someone else thinks or says about you holds more weight than your own inner truth. You might hear a negative comment or criticism and internalize it as a reflection of your value. But no one else's opinion can determine your worth. Negative thoughts try to magnify the voices of others, making you doubt yourself and second-guess your abilities. But their opinions do not define who you are or what you can achieve. One of the most damaging lies that negative thoughts perpetuate is that your future is limited by your past. They try to convince you that because something didn't work out before, it will never work out in the future. They take past pain, mistakes, or failures and project them into your future, creating a false sense of inevitability. But your past does not dictate your potential. Every day is an opportunity to create a new story, and every setback is a setup for a greater comeback. Negative thoughts want to keep you stuck in a narrative of defeat, but that narrative is not the truth. To overcome these lies, you must recognize them for what they are: distortions that don't reflect reality. They are based on fear, insecurity, and self-doubt, not on truth. Once you understand this, you can begin to dismantle their power. You must confront every negative thought with truth. When a thought tells you you can't do this, replace it with, I am capable and equipped for this challenge. When a thought says you're not enough, respond with, I am more than enough. It's important to remember that these lies are not a reflection of your true self. Your true self is powerful, capable, and full of potential. The more you confront negative thoughts with truth, the weaker their hold becomes. Eventually, you'll realize that those thoughts were never based in reality. They were simply obstacles standing between you and your greatness. When you understand that negative thoughts are lies, you free yourself from their grip. You stop letting them dictate your actions, your confidence, and your choices. Instead, you move forward in truth, knowing that you have the power to overcome any challenge and achieve any goal. You stop living according to the limitations these thoughts try to impose, and you start living according to the unlimited potential within you. The people you surround yourself with have a profound impact on your mindset, your ambitions, and ultimately your success. If you spend your time with those who think small, who are satisfied with mediocrity, or who constantly focus on limitations, their mindset will influence your own. But when you surround yourself with visionaries, people who see possibilities, who think beyond their circumstances, and who are driven by purpose, you are lifted to new heights. Visionaries challenge your thinking, expand your perspective, and push you to become the best version of yourself. Visionaries see what others cannot. They have the ability to look beyond the current situation and imagine what could be. When you are around people like this, it changes the way you view your own potential. Suddenly, the dreams that once seemed out of reach start to feel possible. The barriers that you thought were too big to overcome begin to shrink. Visionaries inspire you to think bigger, to dream boldly, and to pursue what others might consider impossible. Being in the presence of visionaries also shifts your energy. They operate on a different frequency, one that is fueled by passion, creativity, and an unshakable belief in the future. When you spend time with them, their energy becomes contagious. You start to feel more motivated, more excited, and more driven to pursue your own goals. Their confidence in their vision transfers to you, and before long you start to believe more in your own abilities and in the future you are working toward. One of the most important things visionaries offer is a different perspective on challenges. Where others might see problems, they see opportunities. Where others might give up, they find new ways to push forward. This mindset is invaluable when you are trying to overcome negative thinking. Visionaries don't allow obstacles to stop them. They find creative solutions and keep moving forward. When you surround yourself with people who approach life this way, you learn to do the same. You stop letting setbacks define you and start seeing them as stepping stones to something greater. Visionaries also hold you accountable to your own greatness. They won't let you settle for less than what you are capable of. When you're surrounded by people who are pushing themselves to achieve more, it pushes you to do the same. They won't allow you to shrink back into comfort or let fear hold you back. Instead, they challenge you to stretch beyond your current limits, to take risks, and to embrace the process of growth. Their belief in their own vision rubs off on you, and soon you find yourself taking bolder steps toward your own dreams. It's also important to recognize that visionaries are not just people with big ideas, they are people who take action. They don't just talk about their dreams, they work tirelessly to make them a reality. When you're in the company of visionaries, you learn the importance of execution. Ideas alone are not enough. You need the discipline, perseverance, and work ethic to bring them to life. Visionaries model this behavior, showing you what it looks like to stay committed to a vision, even when the road gets tough. But visionaries don't just help you think bigger, they help you believe bigger. They challenge the limiting beliefs that have been holding you back. When you share your dreams with a visionary, they don't respond with doubt or skepticism. Instead, they help you see how those dreams can be realized. They encourage you to break free from the small thinking that has kept you stuck, and they help you build a mindset that is aligned with your true potential. Surrounding yourself with visionaries also gives you access to new opportunities. These are people who are constantly growing, evolving, and expanding their reach. As they pursue their vision, they open doors not just for themselves, but for those around them. When you are in their circle, you are exposed to new ideas, new connections, and new possibilities that you might never have encountered on your own. Visionaries lift as they climb, and by being around them, you are pulled upward too. Ultimately, visionaries don't just see the future, they help create it. When you align yourself with people who are committed to making a difference, to building something meaningful, and to leaving a lasting impact, you become part of that creation process. You start to see yourself as someone who is capable of influencing the future as well. You stop thinking about what can't be done and start focusing on what you can do to make your vision a reality. So surround yourself with visionaries. Choose to be around people who challenge you to grow, who inspire you to think beyond your current circumstances, and who push you to believe in your own greatness. Let their energy, their mindset, and their vision fuel your own. When you do, you'll find yourself rising to new levels of success, driven by a purpose that is bigger than yourself. Faith is the key that unlocks the doors of possibility in your life. It's not just a passive belief or hope, it's a powerful force that moves you to take action, even when the outcome is uncertain. Faith is what keeps you moving forward when the path ahead is unclear. And it's what sustains you when everything around you suggests that success is impossible. Without faith, you are easily swayed by doubt, fear, and negativity. But when you unlock the power of faith, you tap into a strength that allows you to overcome obstacles, persevere through challenges, and achieve things beyond what you can see in the present moment. Faith begins with a vision. It requires you to see beyond your current circumstances and believe in the unseen potential within you and around you. It's easy to believe in something when the evidence is right in front of you, but faith is about trusting in possibilities that haven't materialized yet. It's about believing in your ability to succeed, even when you haven't seen the full picture of how it will happen. Faith gives you the confidence to move forward, even when logic or the opinions of others tell you that the odds are stacked against you. Unlocking the power of faith also means letting go of the need for certainty. Too often, people are paralyzed by the fear of the unknown, waiting for perfect clarity before they take the next step. But faith isn't about having all the answers, it's about trusting the process and taking steps, even when you don't know the outcome. When you move in faith, you are saying, I may not know exactly how this will work out, but I believe in my ability to figure it out along the way. Faith gives you the courage to step into the unknown with confidence. Faith also transforms your mindset. When you operate from a place of faith, you are no longer limited by fear or negativity. Instead of focusing on what could go wrong, you focus on what could go right. Faith shifts your perspective from scarcity to abundance, from limitation to possibility. It allows you to see opportunities where others see obstacles, and it helps you to remain hopeful and optimistic, even in the face of adversity. This mindset is crucial for overcoming negative thinking because it trains your mind to look for solutions rather than dwelling on problems. Unlocking the power of faith means trusting in timing, knowing that sometimes things don't happen on your schedule but on a greater one. Faith requires patience because the vision you're working toward may not come to fruition immediately. There will be times when progress seems slow, when you don't see the results you expected, and when doubt starts to creep in. But faith reminds you that just because you don't see the outcome yet doesn't mean it isn't coming. It allows you to keep working, keep believing, and keep pushing forward, trusting that everything will unfold at the right time. Faith also empowers you to persevere through challenges. Life will test your resolve, especially when you are working towards something meaningful. There will be setbacks, failures, and disappointments along the way, but faith gives you the strength to keep going. It allows you to see failure not as the end, but as part of the process. When you unlock the power of faith, you understand that every obstacle is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become stronger. Faith gives you resilience, the ability to bounce back from challenges and continue pursuing your goals with renewed determination. Another aspect of faith is trusting in your own potential. Often people doubt their ability to achieve great things because they measure themselves against others or compare their progress to someone else's timeline. But faith is about believing in your unique gifts, talents, and purpose. It's about knowing that you have everything within you to succeed, even if the journey looks different from someone else's. When you unlock the power of faith, you stop looking outward for validation and start trusting in your own path. Faith also allows you to take risks. Without faith, you will play it safe, staying within the confines of what is comfortable and familiar. But playing it safe rarely leads to greatness. Unlocking the power of faith means being willing to step out of your comfort zone, to take bold steps toward your vision, even when the path isn't guaranteed. Faith gives you the confidence to take calculated risks, knowing that even if things don't go exactly as planned, you will learn, grow, and ultimately find your way to success. Finally, unlocking the power of faith is about surrendering control. It's about understanding that there are forces at work beyond what you can see and trusting that everything is unfolding as it should. This doesn't mean you stop working hard or stop striving for your goals. It means you release the need to control every outcome and trust that as long as you are taking action, the right opportunities, connections, and results will come. Faith brings peace. Knowing that you don't have to have all the answers or know every step of the journey, your job is to keep moving forward, believing that you are guided and supported along the way. In unlocking the power of faith, you access a strength and certainty that transcends your current circumstances. Faith gives you the courage to pursue your dreams, the resilience to overcome challenges, and the confidence to believe in your potential. With faith, there are no limits to what you can achieve. In conclusion, the journey to overcoming negative thinking is not just a battle of the mind, but a transformation of the spirit. It begins with recognizing the enemy within, understanding that negative thoughts are lies designed to limit your potential. By unlocking the power of faith, you break free from these false beliefs, embrace the truth, and step into a mindset of possibility and purpose. Faith, vision, and discipline are your greatest allies on this journey. Surround yourself with those who see beyond the present, who challenge you to rise above mediocrity, and who inspire you to reach for greatness. Transform your inner dialogue and understand that your thoughts create your reality. Break the cycle of negative thinking with intentional action, embracing discipline to train your mind and stay committed to the process. Faith empowers you to trust in your vision, persevere through challenges, and believe in your own potential, even when the road ahead is uncertain. Ultimately, the power to kill negative thinking lies within you. It's not about erasing every doubt or fear, but about rising above them, seeing them for what they truly are, illusions. By committing to a life of purpose driven by faith, discipline, and vision, you unlock your true potential. Remember, your thoughts shape your future, and with the right mindset, there are no limits to what you can achieve. Step into your greatness knowing that the best is yet to come.